Hogwarts Legacy is the next step in a very important process for gaming, and I'm here to tell you why. But in order to do that, I first have to take you on a little trip through time back to November 2nd, 2018. The weather was just starting to get crisp and leaves were just beginning to drop, and with the leaves dropped the cinematic reveal trailer for Diablo Immortal, the long-awaited next entry in the beloved Diablo franchise. For me, this was my first exposure to the new title, and I was beyond excited. That is, until I saw the dreaded "coming soon to mobile" at the end of the trailer. After some initial disappointment, I tried to justify it by telling myself that Diablo 3 actually had a lot of gameplay elements that would transfer well to the mobile platform if handled properly. And besides, if anybody had the resources to handle it properly, surely it was Blizzard. I maintained an outlook of cautious optimism while the internet buzzed with speculation about the potential monetization, because up until that point, Blizzard had never been overtly predatory towards its player base. Then, on June 2nd, 2022, the Fire Nation, everything changed. Diablo Immortal finally launched, and the truth quickly became apparent. Not only was the game heavily monetized, it featured arguably the most predatory monetization scheme ever implemented in a video game. In a market that truly set the standard for predatory monetization practices in video games, Diablo Immortal was the new king. From badly disguised loot boxes in the form of legendary crests to FOMO-inducing paid monthly login rewards, the monetization team at Blizzard had clearly been taking notes. Overnight, the court of public opinion was in session and found Blizzard guilty of being objectively reprehensible humans. Diablo Immortal saw its Metacritic audience score tank to a dismal 0.4 on mobile as of this writing. The game was even banned in Belgium and the Netherlands, where legislators saw through Blizzard's attempt to hide their loot box gambling mechanics behind a single flimsy degree of separation. In one fell swoop, Blizzard had lost the trust and support of the gaming community. Despite all of this, Diablo Immortal is still the 8th highest grossing game on the Google Play Store as of this writing, beating out the likes of Genshin Impact, which didn't even make the top 10. Certainly, in the eyes of some developers, this was a sign that a game can be tremendously negatively received and still be incredibly profitable, which is bad news for the player. A game no longer needs to be good, it just needs to be good enough to drive microtransactions. For you and I, the bottom line is that we end up paying more money for worse games. But where there's shadow, there's also light.
Game of the year winner is Elden Ring!
On December 8th, 2022, Elden Ring was rightfully awarded Game of the Year for 2022. Elden Ring is a game that truly stands on its own merits, featuring no cash transactions, no in-game shop, and no DLC to date. You see, when a game has no alternate method to make money after release, it has no choice but to be good if it hopes to turn a profit. And turn a profit, Elden Ring certainly did, selling over 17.5 million copies as of this writing. To put that in perspective, the gaming community has spent a little over $1 billion on Elden Ring, which is enough to buy over 17.5 million copies of Elden Ring. But more important than their billion-dollar sales and at least $800 million profit after production costs, From Software maintained the respect of the gaming community. Blizzard, however, traded that respect for the comparatively measly $300 million revenue of Diablo Immortal that doesn't even include production cost. And that brings us, finally, to Hogwarts Legacy. From the start, it's been made abundantly clear that there will be no microtransactions in Hogwarts Legacy apart from the ability to purchase the Dark Arts Pack, which essentially just means that we'll have the ability to upgrade to the Deluxe Edition at any time after purchasing the game. It also means that the developers know they only have one shot to make their game a financial success. Throughout all of the releases and gameplay showcases, it's been easy to see just how passionate and excited the team at Avalanche is for this project, and it's clearly reflected in the quality that we've seen so far from the game. From the lovingly crafted interiors of Hogwarts to the beautiful environments, fluid combat, and myriad of unique side activities, Hogwarts Legacy is shaping up to be exactly what we've been waiting for since we first opened the pages of the Sorcerer's Stone all those years ago. This is truly the type of experience that quite simply could never be delivered if the primary motivation was money. If each system in the game was designed to feed into microtransactions and convince the player to spend just $5 more, then the game could never hope to have the soul that we, as gamers, are desperately searching for. Just imagine for a second having to spend money to speed up your potion brewing process or to get new ingredients. Maybe for the low price of $5.99 you could buy a beginner pack that had all the crafting materials you need to create legendary armor, or I suppose in this case robes. At the end of the day, you would know that the developers valued your money more than your experience in the game. As it stands though, Avalanche seems to be more than willing to put their money where their mouth is and provide us with an experience that we'll never forget. And that experience and the financial success that comes from it stands to be further proof that success doesn't mean bleeding the community and their wallets dry. Instead, success means breathing life into a new world and providing players with a profound and memorable experience. My deepest hope is that Hogwarts Legacy is a resounding success for everybody involved, because the heart and soul of gaming needs it to be. We need games like Elden Ring, God of War, and Hogwarts Legacy to continue to prove that predatory monetization is a parasite that's no longer welcome in our community. Now, you've listened to me talk long enough, and while I appreciate that, I want to hear from you. Go ahead and head on down to the comments and tell me how you feel about the trend of microtransactions in gaming and what you're most excited to do in Hogwarts Legacy when it launches. Personally, my main goal is to see if I can cast Avada Kedavra on a teacher mid-lecture and walk out like a true boss. If you feel like I've earned it, don't forget to drop a like and maybe even a sub before you go, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.